Welcome. Audible. Free audiobooks and tales. It's automatically dubbed in your language, has subtitles, and the subscription is free. Today, I'll read you a new Audible. Narrated by Amadriadi. Enter the author's magical world. Are you ready? Let's go. Audibles for children. Title: Shipwrecked. Author: Nicola Baxter. Fantasy tales. Sometimes, watching a stately galleon drifting across the seas, a landlubber may be tempted to think that sailing is a peaceful, calm, and restful business. Wrong. And, on the Purple Pimple, commanded by pugnacious Pete the pirate, very, very wrong. There is creaking of timbers, and Pete's wooden leg, and cursing, and clattering, and clambering. There are sails that snap, and a parrot that squawks. It is not be kind of ship you would choose for a leisurely cruise. No, it's not pugnacious Pete sneezing, or poisonous Pedro, the parrot, attacking the cabin boy. It's the Purple Pimple, bashing into an unsuspecting island. For a pirate, pugnacious Pete's sailing skills leave a lot to be desired. But it will not surprise you to learn that, as he picks himself up off the deck, the mean mariner is not blaming himself for the disaster. Suddenly, the ship is very empty, and the island is very crowded. Who, roars Pete, red in the face, is supposed to be steering this ship? Pete's miserable crew knows better than to point out the obvious, which is that Pete himself was at the helm. Poisonous Pedro has no such inhibitions. He squawks the fact loudly into Pete's right ear, and then, for good measure, repeats the message in his left ear. Pete's ears haven't seen soap and water for many moons, but that's not the kind of thing that bothers Pedro. His own hygiene would horrify his dear old mother back in Borneo. Pugnacious Pete pauses only for a second. There's no way he can believe this is his fault. His vile voice rings out once more. Who, he demands, is the unfathomable idiot who put this island here? Actually, those are not his exact words. I'm having to clean up Pete's language so as not to offend delicate adults, you know what I mean. Well, even Pedro doesn't have an answer to that one. So Pete stomps down the gangplank to view our damage. The Purple Pimple could do with a coat of paint. Several repairs are needed. It is not the most beautiful boat on the seven seas. But none of this is because it just collided with an inoffensive island. Amazingly, the collision has done very little damage. Pugnacious Pete grunts and gurgles a bit, but even he's relieved. There doesn't seem to be much of a problem. 20 minutes later, a thought filters through to Pete's brain. You sniveling shipworms, he says to his crew. We've got a problem. Can any of you excuses for sailors tell me what it is? The sailors try hard not to catch Pete's eye. They all know what the problem is, but no one wants to be the one to say it. Only the cabin boy isn't yet as scared of Pete as he should be. We're stuck, he says. We can't shift the ship. Pugnacious Pete looks around for something to throw at the cabin boy. That's just the way bad news takes him, as there's not much on the island except a couple of palm trees and a surprised snake or two. Pete looks in vain. In exasperation, he pulls off his wooden leg and smacks the cabin boy smartly around the ears with it before falling flat on his face. It's not long before conditions on the island go from bad or worse. There's no fresh water, so the crew is obliged to drink the Purple Pimple's rum rations. It doesn't do a bit of good to their brains or their brawn. As the sun goes down, the crew reaches a state of massive marine misery. We're all going to die, booms the bosun in tones of doom. First we'll shrivel, sobs the ship's cook, who knows more than he should about death by misadventure. I wish I'd been nicer to my poor old mother, moans pugnacious Pete. I'll never see her sweet old face again. In the midst of all this moaning and groaning, the cabin boy is the only person to do something sensible. He shins up one of the paltry palm trees and looks out to sea. "Now!" he shouts. "Ship ahoy!" so loudly that the rest of the crew members have to cover their ears. The rum has had an unpleasant effect on their eardrums. But the cabin boy is right. Away on the horizon, a dark ship can just be seen in the gathering dusk. "Set fire to something, quick!" shouts Pete. The nearest large thing that would make a good blaze meets his eye, and he advances towards it with menace. A more sensible and sober sailor might have realized that it was not a good idea to set fire to the purple pimple. But Pete has never been sensible, and is certainly not at this moment sober. Luckily, he is quite incapable of lighting a match or making a spark of any kind. As night slips over the island, the imperiled pirates realize they have no hope of attracting the attention of the passing ship. The next morning, with throbbing heads and pulsating eyeballs, the pirates spend some hours trying to persuade their brains to open their eyelids. It is therefore not until almost noon that they are able to look around and see that the mystery ship is sailing straight towards them. "Hooray!" shouts Poisonous Pedro. "Hooray!" shouts the cabin boy. "Hooray!" shouts Pugnacious Pete. "Help!" yell the sailors, with one voice. They have spotted the approaching ship's dark sails, its black and white flag, its gleaming guns. It's a pirate ship, and not just any old pirate ship. Blackheart Bill, the nastiest navigator this side of the equator, sails in the burst gumboil. He is no friend to Pugnacious Pete. Luckily, for the crew of the Purple Pimple, Blackheart Bills is as skilled a sailor as their own clueless captain. With a schwark, the burst gumboil sails smack into the Purple Pimple and bumps it off the island. For 5 furious minutes, confusion reigns. As one crew sails through the air towards a sandy landing, the other crew jumps into the water and swims desperately after the drifting pimple. The gumboil is not drifting. It has become stuck in its turn, and Blackheart Bill is berating his men as barnacle-bottomed blackguards. Pugnacious Pete, who has always felt that a sailor's first duty is to stay out of the water, is not a great swimmer. Fortunately, his wooden leg floats beautifully and guides him back to his ship. Within a remarkably short time, considering the incompetence of all involved, the Purple Pimple is sailing towards the horizon. Does Pete give a thought to the fate of Blackheart Bill? Does the image of his dear old mother so much as cross his mind? Does the cabin boy get promotion, an extra ration of weevil-filled biscuit? If you don't know the answers to those questions by now, you haven't been paying attention. Take a deep breath and plunge straight into the next chapter.